see that coming?
No, I was, as Brett Baer was saying, this is, to my knowledge, an unprecedented act by a British Prime Minister or any other foreign leader to be as actively involved as David Cameron seems to be in lobbying senators on the sanctions legislation. And I think it's a signal that that they're very worried about what Congress is considering. I do think that Iran is kind of the epicenter of concerns that the president should have in his foreign policy, given that it's getting ever closer to deliverable nuclear weapons, and
right.
For 35 years it's been the world's central banker for terrorism.
Well, so you say you're worried about what Congress might be considering, but sanctions haven't been in place for quite some time. Should we be worried about what Iran might be considering?
No, I think the president's worried about Congress putting these snapback sanctions into effect, and it reflects, I think, a misunderstanding that they're not intended to sanction Iran now, but simply say if Iran violates the deal that they're negotiating, the sanctions will come back automatically. Indeed, General Clapper testified last year that the economic sanctions had not slowed Iran's nuclear program down, and I think that's the general view in the intelligence community. They've had an economic effect, but have not slowed the nuclear program down.
I want to get this in because of the terror discussions we've been having over the last week to 10 days, and it's just coming in to Fox News through our sources here that there has been frustration among senior intelligence officials and throughout the community because they predicted back in 2007 that the internet would be the driving force for this new wave of sort of recruiting for Islamic terrorism. And now we're just hearing the president and David Cameron potentially talking about this, but obviously the intel community frustrated by this.
Yes, and it's exactly right, as you just say, that they have been worried about it for a very long time. They've seen the power of social media in a whole variety of circumstances, and right today we have ISIS, which has used the media broadly, but social media in particular, very effectively to get their message out. So the concerns about the use of cyberspace, both offensively and for propaganda purposes, I think are very real, legitimate concerns.
Yep, of course. Well, after conceding the White House didn't send someone with appropriate stature to stand with world leaders in the aftermath of the terrorist attack in Paris, Secretary of State John Kerry arrived today, Mr. Ambassador, well, bringing a friend.
All you got to do is call. Oh, I will be there. Yes, I'll be there. You got a friend.
How weird was it, as this is an act of diplomacy, with James Taylor singing "You've Got a Friend"?
The only thing that I can think of that would be worse is if John Kerry himself had sung the song. That would be about as low as you could go. But honestly, no disrespect intended to James Taylor, this is not American diplomacy at its best. And I think it's another indication of the lack of American leadership that this is what it's come to, giving Paris a hug.
All right. Great to hear from you, Mr. Ambassador.